We all have giants in our lives, fears, doubts, challenges that seem just too big to overcome. But what if I told you that over 3,000 years ago, a young shepherd boy stood before a 9-foot-tall warrior and changed history forever? This isn't just a Bible story. It's a true story about courage, faith, and the incredible power of believing in something far greater than yourself. This is David and Goliath, the battle that changed everything. Imagine this. The sun is rising over the valley of Elah. Two massive armies are staring each other down, the Israelites and the Philistines. But standing between them is one man, Goliath. This guy is a monster over 9 feet tall, completely covered in bronze armor. His spear is thicker than a man's arm, and his voice booms like thunder across the valley. For 40 long days, Goliath steps forward and roars, "Send me your best warrior, let him fight me. If he kills me, we will be your servants, but if I win, you will serve us." Every single soldier in the Israelite army, from the lowest private to King Saul himself, is frozen in fear. No one dares to face this giant. The entire nation is paralyzed. Then, a young shepherd from Bethlehem named David shows up. He's the youngest of his brothers, not a soldier, with no armor, no sword, and zero military training. He's just there to drop off some food for his brothers on the front lines. But when he hears Goliath mocking God and his people, something ignites inside him. He turns to the soldiers and asks, "Who is this man that he dares to defy the armies of the living God?" The soldiers just laugh at him. "You're just a boy," they say. "You can't fight a giant." But David's response is filled with a quiet confidence. He says, "The same Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from this Philistine." In that moment, faith started to speak louder than fear. King Saul, desperate, tries to help. He puts his own royal armor on David, the heavy breastplate, the bronze helmet, the massive sword. But David can barely even move. He takes it all off and says, "I can't go in these, I'm not used to them." Instead, he walks over to a nearby stream, finds 5 smooth stones and puts them in his shepherd's bag. He grips the only weapon he knows, his simple sling, the same one he uses to protect his sheep from predators. When Goliath sees this young boy walking toward him with nothing but a stick and a sling, he bursts out laughing. "Am I a dog," he mocks, "that you come at me with sticks?" But David isn't intimidated. He shouts back, "You come to me with a sword and a spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty." Then, it happens. Goliath starts moving forward, his heavy steps making the ground shake. The soldiers watch, holding their breath, absolutely terrified. But David doesn't hesitate. He runs toward the giant, fearless, focused, and full of faith. He loads a stone into his sling, swings it around his head once, twice, 3 times, and lets it fly. The stone cuts through the air, fast, silent, and perfectly aimed. It strikes Goliath right in the center of his forehead. The giant stumbles for a second, and then crashes face down into the dirt. 1 stone, 1 shot, 1 impossible victory. For a moment, the entire battlefield is dead silent. Then, the Israelite army erupts in a massive roar of victory. Their fear is gone, replaced by a surge of courage. They charge forward, chasing the stunned Philistines out of the valley. And David, the shepherd boy who just came to deliver bread, walks away as a national hero. But David knew the truth. It wasn't his strength that won the battle. It wasn't luck. It was his unwavering faith. The faith that the God who was with him in the quiet fields protecting his sheep was the very same God standing with him on the battlefield. This story proves that sometimes victory doesn't come from being the biggest or the strongest. It comes from believing in the one who never fails. Now, the story of David and Goliath isn't just about ancient warfare. It's about us. It's about the giants we all face every single day. Each of us has a Goliath, A fear that paralyzes us, a challenge that looks impossible, a dream that feels completely out of reach. But David's story gives us a powerful blueprint for facing our own giants, and it comes down to 3 timeless truths. First, faith is greater than fear. David didn't focus on how big Goliath was, he focused on how great his God was. When you shift your perspective from your fear to your faith, the giants in your life start to shrink. Your focus determines your reality. Second, preparation matters. David didn't just show up with blind faith, he showed up with a sling, some stones, and the quiet confidence that came from years of practice and discipline. He had spent countless hours in the fields, perfecting his aim, protecting his flock. What you do in private, your daily habits, your practice, your preparation, is what prepares you for your public victory. And third, victory starts within. Before David ever defeated Goliath on the battlefield, he had already defeated doubt in his own heart. The real battle wasn't with the giant in front of him, it was with the fear inside of him. When you conquer your own mind and win that internal battle, every external giant becomes smaller and more manageable. Maybe your Goliath isn't a 9-foot-tall warrior. Maybe it's a mountain of debt. Maybe it's the fear of failure, the sting of rejection, or the anxiety of starting over. Maybe it's that big dream you have that everyone else says is impossible. Whatever your Goliath looks like, remember David. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He didn't compare his abilities to the giant's strengths. He simply believed in something bigger than himself, trusted his preparation, and took the shot. Your faith, no matter how small it feels, has the power to move mountains. Your courage, even if your hands are shaking, can change everything. Because when faith meets courage, giants fall. So the next time you find yourself standing before something that feels impossible, remember the shepherd boy who became a king. Remember that what seems small and insignificant in your hands can become mighty when placed in God's hands. If this story inspired you today, please give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more powerful stories of faith and courage. Thank you for watching.